A few players the Knicks have been intrigued by and trying to make trades with. Grizzlies guard Marcus Smart, Raptors guard Bruce Brown, and basically just kind of anyone that makes a good amount of money to offload some other contracts. Now, Gio, I want your thoughts. How would a fit of either of these players work for the Knicks? And what do you think they'd have to get rid of to kind of get these guys? And just for context, Bruce Brown makes 22.5 mil, and Smart makes about 20.7, 20.8. And because they're over the first apron, they have to trade like for like. So you have to trade almost like 80% worth of the salary. So if you're trading 20 mil, you have to get back, or you have to get rid of like 18 something. So something like that. So give me your thoughts. Kind of cook up for a little bit.
Interesting. I didn't know they got paid around the same amount.
Yeah.
It's also funny because they kind of have the same play style. Bruce Brown and Marcus Smart, both very solid defenders, very good, I would say, team players, very good. They could also bring up the ball.
Yep.
So they're both very similar in their play style. I would say, though, I personally like Marcus Smart better for the Knicks. But that's probably because I like Marcus Smart better, period.
Right.
And I just like his style of defense, his tenacity, his nastiness, his instincts on defense. I like Marcus Smart for that more. I think it would benefit the Knicks at the guard position, especially because they have Brunson. Brunson's not the best of defenders, although he does draw charges. He's not your go-to on-ball defender. So I think Marcus Smart would absolutely help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would fit this sort of defensive sort of minded team that they started to build when they added Anunoby, when they added Mikal Bridges, who I think is going to have a huge defensive season.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in terms of what's the other guy?
Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown. He's good. He's a great energy piece on a championship team. I just don't think the Knicks are a championship team. So I don't know if Bruce Brown will be the better fit for the Knicks.
Before I give my thoughts on this, since you just dropped that bomb, care to respond, Mr. Knicks fan?
They're not. They're borderline.
Oh,
I think the farthest they can make is the finals because then they got to get the Celtics, and they're no way to beating the Celtics. I agree with him about Smart. If I'm the Knicks, I want Smart because I don't trust campaign minutes. I don't trust Tyler Kolek minutes as a rookie. If you want, Deuce McBride is better fit as a shooting guard. That's what he played at West Virginia his entire 4-year career.
Right.
Bruce wouldn't be a point guard. Marcus, I love the energy he brings. I love the veteran leadership. If you're trading for Smart, you definitely move campaign out of there. You definitely could move Mitch out of there. Josh Hart, I have no idea. Maybe picks. That's literally all I could think of. I think Bruce would cost more because the Raptors want more assets. The Grizzlies are kind of going to go up and further this year among the standings.
Right.
I have nothing wrong with this take.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I agree. I also don't think they're a championship team,
No.
but they can contend for one.
Right.
I disagree, though. I think Bruce Brown's a better fit. I also think Bruce Brown's going to be a lot easier to trade for.
Okay.
Because I think you want to get Mitchell Robinson off the books. Memphis just drafted Zach Edey. They have no use for him.
Right.
So if you're trading for Smart and you have to recoup 20 mil, Josh Hart's going to have to be the guy to go, which gets rid of even more depth. And look, I mean, I feel really bad for Marcus Smart, but there's a reason why the Celtics never won a ring with him. Drew Holiday was an upgrade. But even outside of that, I think Bruce Brown will bring more of a punch to that lineup.
I disagree with that take.
He's going to be a bench guy, though.
Right. I think that's what you need right now, to be honest with you.
No, we need bench depth.
You need bench depth, but
they both provide it.
Right. But I don't know. I don't know if the Raptors want to do another deal with the Knicks. That's kind of my mindset on it. I don't know who else they'd want besides Deuce McBride is going to have to go regardless, whether Hart goes or not. He played so well in that preseason game, which we'll talk about later on, that he's highly sought after. We tried everything we could to try and get him to Brooklyn, but we wound up getting Shake Milton instead because it was just too expensive. So I understand the value of Deuce here. But as far as As far as who to get, I honestly would go for neither of them.
Yeah.
I would just try and see who's available for a cheaper option at the deadline and kind of work from there. But y'all got a lot of work to do, and I don't trust this front office necessarily to to skimp out on a deal and fleece a team.
Right.
They're
I don't
going to
think
overpay.
The Knicks are capable of doing that.
Right.
No.
And my other argument for Bruce Brown, he's already experienced playing in New York, especially for a high stakes big three with the Nets and everything. And look, both players had their playoff fuck ups. You know, Bruce Brown missed that layup in Game 3 against the Bucks. He makes it, we go up 3-0. If not, he didn't make it. And that's exactly why we went. We lost both games in Milwaukee, and the rest was kind of history. But yeah, I see the pros and cons to both guys. But right now, I would stand pat. I would kind of just chill and see who's available come trade deadline. So that's kind of my sort of basis with it. Now, my question for you, Gio, is the Knicks front office setting a dangerous precedent about building these kind of teams? And because obviously we saw the big trades, getting rid of all your future and everything like that. That's kind of along the same lines as this, but the Knicks just seem like that little kid at the all-you-can-eat buffet getting like 6 plates of food and can only really eat half of 1 plate. So are the Knicks kind of biting off more than they can chew? Are they setting a dangerous precedent for these younger, rising teams going forward?
I don't think they're setting a dangerous precedent because I think most of the league is pretty much pointing and laughing.
Ooh, okay.
I don't think they're really like, ooh, I think the Knicks just did a huge thing here. I think most of the league is like, okay, why did you do that?
Right.
But let's just see how it plays out. I think it's kind of like that perspective that other teams and fans of the NBA took, where it's like, okay, let's see what happens because this doesn't really look too good on paper. You know what I mean? In terms of like how they got fleeced by the Nets in that deal. So, yeah, I don't think they're setting a dangerous precedent.